Welcome back to Metro Morning Live. Joining us now is the president of Action Leaders Forum 369, Dr. Eldridge Henderson, as he joins us each and every week. And Dr. Henderson, again, welcome back to the show. We're going to get into part 3 of how to deal with elected officials and appointed officials. So what do we first need to know about elected officials?
Well, one thing that I want to say for sure is I want to thank you for this opportunity. But when you come to politicians, elected and appointed, I include a variety of individuals in different offices, which I will talk about later on. But the first thing you need to understand about any elected or appointed official is that they don't know everything and they need all the help they can get. Now, that's what I call in a snapshot. But there are some specific things one should consider, and that is they should promote, support the best candidate that they select themselves out of a group of individuals, male or female, that's running for office. And if they can't find one that would meet certain criteria, they need to select their own candidate. And you will find that in just a few months, there will be a lot of candidates running for various positions in the state of Mississippi, especially in some of these towns, where I understand you're going to have from 9 to 13 individuals running for a certain position in Hinds County. And on the local level, in some of the small towns, you're going to have the same thing happening. And most of those candidates are in a position where they think they can win, and only one will. So that means 90% of them will not win.
Now, Doc, who are we talking about, elected officials? I mean, judges, mayors, city councilmen, who are we talking about?
Well, I always like to start with the most important person in what I call a community, and that is the mayor of these cities. I look at the sheriffs. You're also talking about the preachers. You're talking about college presidents.
But is a preacher an elected official?
He is elected by his members in many cases, unless he owns his own church. And some do. That is the new trend. Some people, preachers now, are buying property, starting a church. It's in their name only, and they go and recruit their members. Now, that's a smart politician. So the others would be members of Congress and, of course, the President of the United States. Those are the main elected and appointed officials that we have to deal with, and we need to start working in a serious manner as voters and supporters.
Now, what is your definition of politics?
Well, politics is where an individual is trying to provide resources and a power base that correct what we call past ills in a community, a city, or a nation. And the other part is that he has to be one that is able to get qualified individuals to carry out the mandates that he doesn't know anything about. And most politicians, as you know, don't know a lot about everything. Most of them have specific skills, but they want to pretend they know everything. And then they make a mistake, and this is national news. They always put their friends and their supporters in the significant offices, whether they can handle them or not.
Wow.
You know of any instances like that, Mr. J?
I think I've heard of some instances.
You have heard of some,
yes,
haven't you?
Absolutely. Of course. Well, Doc, what's the main function of elected officials?
Well, it's very serious. One is to tell the truth, and most of them do that, but we know about 10% don't. The other one is that they like to tell people what's best for them without getting input from the people. Now, many will pretend that they are looking out for the interests of the people, and I know some examples where they already have their agenda set, and then they go around to the various communities talking to the people, asking them what they want. Now, they already know what they want and already know what they need. So when they get all that information together, in most cases, they put that in a book somewhere and forget about it and pull that same old agenda that's failing and continue to work with that and spend the taxpayers' money in a manner that is not conducive to the welfare of the city or the state or the nation.
But, Doc, they've been doing that for years. I mean, is there any way to hold them to the fire and to stop all of this?
Yes, it is. It's very, very easy to do, but most people don't want to do it because they have one problem. Individuals, citizens, and community organizations are not united. They need to have a confederation of organizations, get themselves together, and I've been talking about this for some years, make sure that all the members are registered voters, select the candidate, call the candidate in and give him a list of demands or platform issues that they want in their community, their region, or their state, and say, here are 5 platform issues. I know what you want to do. We have read it. You must take 3 of these 5, and we'll support you. And if you don't, we won't. Just that simple. And those politicians will at least pretend to support you. And then you have to wait for them to get in office, and you pull out the demands that we have to have our people on the various agencies, boards, and commissions, not those riffraffs that he or she will support and put on those commissions.
Well, Doc, what are the historical qualifications of most or more of successful politicians? What kind of qualifications do they have to have?
You want to hear the real truth?
Yes, sir.
They don't need.
Now, this is coming from you.
That's right, but
Yes,
I'm
sir.
giving you research.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't just talk out of the top of my head. Now, I
know
might
you
put a
don't.
little humor in something from
Yes, sir.
time to time.
Yes, sir.
But the fact is, you don't have to have a lot of qualifications to be an elected official.
Is that right?
That's a fact.
But you have to know about government business.
No, you don't. You don't have to know anything about government, and you don't have to know anything about business. If so, we would have more harmony and unity and more what I call progress in the cities, the state, and the nations.
Yes, sir.
The first qualification of any politician that want to run for office is that he ought to be at least 18 or 21 years of age. It all depends on the position he's running for.
Okay.
He has to be a citizen of the United States, and he has to live within the district that he's running. And of course, there's nothing about education.
Wow.
There's nothing about training.
That explains a lot of stuff.
And that's why you have so many dudes running for office and winning, and ladies too, that don't care about nothing. See, the thing you want to do, if you want a job and you have adequate resources and you can't get a job, your skills are outdated, it's good to run for office. You can always run for office to be elected or appointed. That includes those preachers that I told you about earlier, because they are good politicians. They are just like the Pope. You know, they are politicians, and they do all they can to help themselves first, and then help some of the people second. And those are the people that support them.
Well, Doc, again, I asked you this before. Why don't you run for public office, and do you think you can win if you did run?
Well, I could win if I would run. I told you before, and I gave you the challenge, and you haven't agreed to do it yet. I said, if you would raise $350,000 for my campaign, get me 100 volunteers, and then get my action team to poll the people and see what position they want me to run for in the state of Mississippi, then we can seriously consider it.
Okay.
Until you do that,
I don't think you're going to be running.
I don't think
I
so
don't think
either.
you'll be running.
Unless
So I have
get
to raise all that?
You have to get someone to pledge that money. Now, if you don't want the job,
Yes, sir.
maybe someone else wants.
Okay.
But that's the only reason I will run.
Okay.
I told you before, a broke politician
Yes, sir.
does not need to be in office.
Yes, sir. Well, Doc, I appreciate that. And next week we will continue our discussion on politics, or we have another topic we want to talk about.
Whatever you want to talk about, we'll come up with something.
Yes, sir. And again, you can be seen on the PEG Network each and every week on Wednesday and Fridays.
Correct.
Yes,
At
sir.
6 o'clock on Wednesdays and 5 p.m. on Fridays.
You have a radio show too, Doc?
I go on all the radio shows that I'm invited. But sometimes they only sit me one time. Most people don't want to hear the truth.
Yes,
They want to hear propaganda and a lot of what I call yak that satisfy the majority of the people. I believe in real news
Yes, sir.
and facts.
Yes, sir.
Don't nobody want to hear that.
Yes, sir. And you give the facts, and you have results in 30, 60, and 90 days.
Guarantee.
All right.
Any human problem that is devised by man can be resolved to the point where you can resolve it in 30, 60, 90 days, guaranteed. All you have to do is reverse the action. You find out who is benefiting from the evil, and then you figure out how you can resolve that issue by changing it. Just that simple.
Well, we're going to try to work on you getting into politics and running for something, Doc. We got to get you out there.
You want to take care of that $350,000?
I will discuss that.
Okay.
All right. Stay with us. More Metro Morning Live after the break.